go. All right, chill. I mean, just mostly, it's nice weather. The weather is nice. Maybe we should invoke Luck size first. Whatever. We're alive now, so it doesn't matter. It does. Instead of a it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay. Oh. I'm gonna say this every time I think until I get one. I really need a starting soon screen. I'd simplify my life so much. Especially because I know I forget things, and I will forget things, and it sets the expectation where it's like, oh, it's starting soon, it's like, it's there, which is different from like, oh, it's supposed to start at X time for the stream, right? Just a little extra leeway, which, trust me, I need the extra leeway. Oh, I need the extra leeway. Hi, welcome. Yeah. What do you mean dropped frames? Why? Why? This wasn't supposed to be a self-fulfilling prophecy on life being annoying and things happening. Okay, that was just like a commentary on that it keeps happening, not for more. I should have known better. Yep. Should have known better. Oh well, what am I gonna do? Complain. I'm gonna complain. That's obviously. You knew that. I knew that. Everyone knows that. Knew that? You know what I mean. Anyway, yes. Here we are, Saturday. A little low-ish, kind of. There we go. Let's go up a little bit. Framing! Is it as important as phrasing? Maybe. Perhaps. I think. Not quite. Phrasing's pretty important. And punctuation. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So, there's not a hard set plan for today. I've tentatively... I don't know if I did this if there's more people chatting or less. Got... I missed the Discord. Deadlock idea, which isn't playing the game because I still can't do that yet. I guarantee you I'm more frustrated by this than you are. Okay. Because I don't get to play anything at the moment. Never mind just Deadlock. Anything. Yeah. Because... well, I don't really want a serious repetitive stress injury. I did stretching today, which I keep forgetting to do. That did help a little bit. Because it is partially just utterly ass ergonomics, right? Which I can't fix at the moment because the desk, it's a butcher block table, is just too tall. The chair doesn't go high enough. Even if it went high enough, there's a 2.5 inch lip on the underside of the table. About 1.5 inches in. It's like 2 inches actually. That would keep me from going as high as I need to have actual good arm placement ergonomically. It's just slightly too low, which is very annoying, but does cause problems, and then also not moving around enough, keeping it in the same spot for too long. All of the usual suspects. And here we are. Yep. So excited. But. It's getting better. It's better today than it was yesterday. and it shouldn't need like a week, which is good because I still need to, okay, well, partially need to record the voiceover. I post commentary for the video. However you want to put that. Which brings me to the idea of today. I could either leave it cut up as is, or I could technically sort of redo it. Well, no, there's the whole quality thing again. Right, because if I just download the VOD, it'll be at 720p. And I can't currently record and stream at the same time, so that doesn't work. Probably. I haven't actually tested that. I definitely couldn't play, stream, and record at the same time. Judging by it's technically the internet at the beginning of the stream. I don't know if that's really indicative of potential consequences, but what are we at? 40% memory, 12%, 15%, like 10 to 16% CPU. It's maybe possible. But I'd be doing it in the game. We'll see. Because the idea that I had is I wanted to get questions from you guys, because I've tried doing just straight up live commentary. Don't like it. I watch plenty of stuff that I enjoy that is done that way, but I just don't talk enough. And my brain doesn't like the idea of recording everything that I do. So I was trying to find a middle ground there. Also, I just don't do as well with that. I mean, you see, even while streaming and playing a game, my brain is very much, I will hyper-focus on one thing and do that thing well. If I try and talk as often as at least I think I should talk, then I perform worse in-game. Whereas if I do it post-commentary style, then it's a little more it flows a little better. You can actually, coherent thought, keep things together, mostly. Still ADHD. But mostly. But it's more intensive in terms of editing, whereas if I just do the idea where I'm talking about it on stream or whatever, and I record it, or however I work that out, then I have a little bit of an easier time in the recording aspect because I don't have to sync everything up, which is very, very annoying and tedious to do. Yeah, it's not great. Not my favorite. Very much in the line of busy work, and I do like the finished product, don't get me wrong. I like editing things on the technical scale of editing things. I don't like the actual mechanical aspect of editing things because call it technological limitations. I like things to work when I do them. It's the same reason why I don't actually use my writing tablet all that much, even though I'd like to, because Clip Studio kind of it just straight up lags, which my brain doesn't do great with, so then it gets frustrated and blah blah blah. You get the idea. I'm blaming autism and ADHD, to be clear. Let's go. Hi! Long time no see. What is... I can't tell what your profile picture is. It doesn't technically matter, but you know, very thoughts. Although you are the first one I've seen that actually has the same name here that you do Discord or Twitch. So congrats! Never on YouTube? Well, fair enough. I really need Twitch to get their shit together, but they aren't really excited about that. Technically better opportunities than YouTube anyway. Well, of course you are. Of course you are. Yep. Should have seen that coming. Oh, so that does mean that you can change your name. Because I know for a bit there you couldn't. Maybe YouTube changed it back? The love of the game. Yep. We know. You're very, very dedicated and committed. Which is... I don't know if I want to say admirable. But... that's the only word I could think of that fits. So there you go. It's the best you're getting. I mean, if you want to go with annoying, it'd be in the same sort of annoying as, like, my dog coming over and nosing my leg like, hey, Peppy. Which... But, you know, it's good intentions. I mean, I've gone over... I like banter. So... I guess in a good way? Because there is good and bad annoying, right? There's like, I want to punch you in the face annoying, and then there's like, yeah, annoying. It's annoying. Is it the right word for that though? Kind of, technically, yeah. Best you're getting, not even a high five. There's technical, logistical, rather, issues with that one. I mean, I could like, high five myself, but that's, I can't move my arms, it's a 2D model. We haven't reached this level of technology yet. Maybe someday. Like 2.5D or something, who knows. Either way, I can't move my arms. So yeah, that's the best I get. I mean, I acknowledged it, didn't I? I could have ignored it. Like, I could have done less, is what I'm getting at. I could have done less. But I didn't. Yes. Magnanimous Fox? MGMF? Yeah, that's not the greatest acronym. Where you take like the first letter of the whatever, you get the idea. Moving on. Ugh. Do anything exciting recently? Because I sure as hell haven't. Okay, maybe I don't do that with my arm. Noted. No leak today. This was the last thing you saw me play. Oh! Oh! No. Technically no playing anything today because I went over this technically at the beginning. Like opening 3 minutes? No, this is me we're talking about. It's probably like the opening 8 to 10 minutes. Yeah, so what do I even call this? Because it's not just wrist. It's like wrist and elbow, but mostly elbow at the moment. Anyway, we're back to like dog shit ergonomics and the issues that has caused me. So I don't get to play anything today or for like the last couple of days. On or off stream. Or edit. Yeah, great. I love it here. I also couldn't record anything yesterday? The day before yesterday because it was 92 degrees. So, bit of an unfortunate week or so as far as getting things done. But, c'est la vie. What are you gonna do? Although I have noticed that, and I've got a couple of theories on this, technically do worse watch time and kind of sort of view-wise when I do actually play games for whatever reason. I mean, like I said, I've got a couple of days on that. One, I do tend to zone out slightly more at least when playing games because I've, well, ADHD. I focus on the game, less so on the talking front, which, me personally, I don't think my gameplay is good enough to just do that on its own. Also, I like the talking part. Like, part of the point of having a VTube model is you get the whole experience. Also, I still do the whole experienced gamer autism, whatever you want to call it, like face thing, where plenty of life in the voice, less so in the like facial expression front, which is moderately embarrassing, awkward. Wasn't I actually asked on your guys' opinion of that, but I mean, me personally, not my favorite. But I also have high standards, so like, I mean, hey, what do you know? I'm not surprised I didn't like it, but... Oh, quick check. How is the music volume? Because I've had to tweak it. Because like I said a couple of times, no one mentioned anything, but at some point, my audio kind of, it got quieter for some reason, which I still have no clue why that happened. Because I didn't change it, and everything's still set at the same levels it was before, but it's quieter, like as of a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks. So I've been trying to like rebalance things, but the only way that I have to do that is watching after stream. And then I can only hear on my end, so I don't know how it sounds for you guys. Okay, cool. Progress. Huzzah, Missy. But, yeah. I guess it's been like a half a month, huh? It's been 2 weeks. Yeah. It's been that doesn't have the same impact as like it's been a week. Or like, ooh, what a week. What a 2 weeks. Could be worse, obviously, but it's not ideal. But yeah, so I can't play anything in the moment unless I want to not play anything for longer than like the 4 or 5 days that it'll probably end up being. Oh, right, I was talking about analytics. Right, yeah. Anyway, so I do kind of do better on the whole like entertainment front, which is surprise. Streams are supposed to be entertaining. Yeah, everyone goes to them for different things, but I mean, if you could watch a video or you could watch a stream, like and you're gonna pick one that doesn't have as much commentary, you're probably more likely to go video than stream, because the idea of streaming is interaction. For better or worse, the games that I have to play at the moment, I don't have enough downtime to catch up and like keep track, I guess, is what it comes down to. So much as I do like Deadlock, which is what I was playing mostly recently, it's a very fun but fast-paced game that, like I said, doesn't leave a lot of downtime. Unless you die a lot, which means you're probably not doing very well. You know. So to rephrase this, that it's not coming off as like sarcastic or facetious, but I appreciate that. Not that I have self-confidence issues or anything. No, where's the thought? Pizza here? I mean, I did eat today. Yeah, I did. The what doesn't matter. Okay. The food for later. It's pre-made. Made it yesterday. Yeah. Did I also maybe forget to eat it before stream? Yeah, maybe. That could have happened, theoretically. Hypothetically. Okay. This is the hypothetical. You can't prove either way. But if I did, then I would have just had a bunch of chips to like actually have eaten something besides the muffin from this morning. So. Life is good. I do kind of miss being able to just order pizza. Gluten and casein allergies kind of limit delivery options. Well, at least as much as also not actually having the money in my account currently to order stuff. That's also kind of big. I need to remember to reset my PIN again, because I forgot. Of course, then I still have to get the money to register? What? ATM that actually accepts it, so then I can get it into my account. Yay! Credit unions! At least they don't really charge anything. They're certainly not taking $5 a month out of my account like Bank of America. Actually, no, they did like $10, didn't they? It was at least $5 a month. So. Between that, and especially with no income, and then being able to just use my mom's work's credit union, because of course they have their own credit union, I guess. Sure. Why not? Free for employees and their families, so there you go. Of course, yes, the downside is not as accessible in terms of, or reliable, depending on what you're talking about, as Bank of America, for instance, or any other large bank, because they just have less. I mean, yeah, they also kind of like network with other credit unions, but the ones that I've gone to the last couple of times to try and actually get the money into my account hasn't worked. Granted, it was the same one twice, actually, 3 times. So I'm starting to think they're just lying, and that one doesn't actually allow it, but they say they allow it, because there's only so many times you can have your internet be out. Also, it would pull up my account info I could see the account and what was in it is correct, but then it wouldn't take the money. Which is very annoying. Also, because of just how they have it set up for that one, you can't just go inside and do it because reasons. Don't know. Why would you be able to use the ATM but not go inside and do it and have it connect that way? It's still their system. Hence why I think they actually were just kind of lying about that. But whatever. So I got to that. Of course, it would be nice if people just used, I don't know, Zelle. I'd take PayPal. PayPal would work. But old people. Old people. Technology. Yeah. I'd take checks. A check would work. I could actually deposit that online, digitally. Wouldn't have to worry about it. Because I don't actually have a functioning card at the moment either. The wasps are enjoying it, I guess, but like I don't really use it. What's the better bit at this point? In all likelihood. I still haven't forgiven it for the one time that it almost killed me though, or like tried to, so like I'm not super broken up about it. Or Ford or Chevy? It's Chevy. Or is it a Ford? I think Chevy? I forget what exactly it is, but yeah, whatever. Point is, yeah, if you ever gone down a hill and like you get to the bottom and like, oh, actually, suddenly like the power braking just isn't gonna work, so like, have fun. Thankfully, unlike most people, I brake at a reasonable time, which is to say, before I need to, like really hard brake, I do it slowly, so it is much gentler and just a generally more enjoyable experience. Also feels more rewarding. Also, you don't get whiplash. So it worked out okay. Also, there's no one behind me or anything, so it's like whatever. But haven't forgotten. Nope. No. Because did also then turn off the car, turn it back on, get everything to work, and then continue driving to hockey, because it's called Beer League. I don't know why it's called Beer League Croc. I mean, I guess I kind of know. But like, it's like the same thing as a rec team in soccer or whatever, if you will. Done it for the league, you get put into teams, or like they have team captains, they pick teams and whatever. Play once a weekend, yeah. So, technically the smarter thing would have been to not, but I mean it was also, we lived on a hill at the time, so it would have been going back up the hill. I don't know, doesn't sound better. What are you gonna do? I didn't say always make the smartest decisions, alright? Do as I say, not as I do, alright? It's that simple. It really is that simple. As I say, not as I do. Foolproof. Otherwise, well... No promises. But I would prefer not to have to go put it into my account, admittedly. Of course, that would mean having to get monetized on YouTube, or actually take donations, which, you know, not that I'm paranoid or anything, kind of, but you know, not like overly so. chargebacks are a thing, and there are douchebags out there that would just do that. Just because they could. Also, I can't really monetize on YouTube anyway. So, yeah. I mean, I want to do more anyway, so it's not really like it's a hardship. Alright. I don't really enjoy just coasting along. I prefer actually accomplishing things. 2 years of like not really, okay, more than 2 years technically, but not doing anything, notwithstanding. Not the ideal, just how things worked out. Yeah. Hey, I've got a lot of biology out of say la vie, so there's that at least. Oh, right. What type of pizza you get anyway? Just out of curiosity, not that I would judge you at all. No, I would never. But, I mean, I'm kind of curious. Me personally, I used to go for like pepperoni and olives, black olives. Just to clarify that. Sometimes sausage. I think I'd lean more towards like bell pepper, onions, and sausage or pepperoni with that. I think sausage probably. And pepperoni's nice, but it's a little less consistent, I guess, than sausage. Of course, that's assuming that the sausage doesn't have wheat or anything in it, because reasons. But it also is just, it fits a little better logistically because little pieces of sausage instead of large circles of pepperoni. Fits better between bell peppers and onions, and if you want to toss it in black olives, but you don't want too much. A little bit of a, you want variety, at least I want variety, but not any one particular thing overwhelmingly so. At least I'm consistent. Alright. I maintain continuity between my food choices, my life choices, and gameplay? Couldn't really think of a third thing. I don't... Doesn't technically have to be a third thing, but I want there to be a third thing because threes, and they're auspicious, so, you know. When in doubt. Which reminds me, I was gonna look into getting a tarot deck eventually. I don't have any way to do a hand cam thing as is anyway, so I need to decide if I want to paint my nails or anything if I did that. I wouldn't want to go with gloves. Gloves are too bulky. I don't like how little dexterity you have with them. Also doesn't give much away, you know. But yeah, I don't have anything to set that up logistically anyway. Never mind, get the cards. I still need to catch up on guitar practice, because that is something that I can do. I don't know if I can do that now. I'm gonna go with probably not. Yes. Most of the issue was not moving my arm around enough, or my body enough in general, I guess, because it's different and whatnot. which then makes them more likely to have injuries. But, well, it's already aggravated. It's a mix of moving it around enough and not overdoing it. And I just think that position in specific wouldn't do me any favors. One way to put it. So yeah. Yeah. What was I talking about before? Oh no. What goldfish? Thanks, brain, though. That's random. White goldfish? What? I guess food related, kind of. Can't even eat goldfish though, so like I don't know why that would pop up. Okay, I should probably do guitar for next time, maybe? How do I feel about that? Ambivalent. If my arm's better. Okay, cool. I can live with arms better. Right, that is another thing. I've noticed I have pretty good intuition, right? I know this. I've known this for a while. But I tend to ADHD onto something and, like, for instance, saying when the video is going to be done, even though I had a feeling it wouldn't be, but, like, logically, what is going to come up that would stop me from doing it by then? Nothing. And then elbow, wrist, heat. Not. Like, at least nominally a furry, but not like that. Okay, like, no, don't be weird. I know you thought it. Probably. Maybe. Neither of us can really move otherwise, is the point. So I'm going to assume that you did, because I don't actually have a reason. I tend to just think of things anyway, so, like, you know, it's neither here nor there. I just get ideas. I think of things. It's good for debates. I can see both sides really easily, but sometimes it's more of a curse, I guess. The curse of knowledge and knowing things and connections. Yeah. Yeah. What are you gonna do? That said, I can't play devil's advocate for pretty much any. Devil's advocate. Better enunciation. For pretty much anything. Not super relevant at the moment, because, well, you know. It's just me talking to myself. So, I can't really argue two different sides. At all. At all. Yeah, that would be arguing with myself, which I may have less, at least less strict. Is that true? More lenient? That's not necessarily true. I have lines, but they're different than most people's would be, so there's generally more leeway. I forgot what my entire point was. Okay. It's fine. Probably wasn't important. Don't need to worry about it. Huh. What was I talking about before that tangent? Should I do the deadlock thing today? I don't know. Probably not, because again, we're back to the whole posture ergonomics thing. It'd be for less time than playing games. But it would be a lot of back and forth still, because I'd have to like get to specific spots. And I still don't know if it would record super. I can sort of test. Right, I can start recording. And it hasn't died yet. So I can at least record talking sections if I want to turn them into something. And get further than the replay buffer, which is for like 2 minutes. It's 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, one of the two. Alright, so that's an option. What could I do with that? What could I do with that? I have a lot. There's too much that I can do with that, I guess is the point. My old nemesis. Too many options. Yeah, it's great. Oh boy. Sometimes being too creative is problematic. Because I have too many ideas. Or I guess too creative and autistic. Autism and creativity mixing together. Not exactly the typical combo, but hey, here we are. So I tend to think of a lot of ideas, but it's really weird. Sometimes my brain goes too quickly. Because like I get a couple of clear ideas and then it just sort of like fades out into non-distinctness, which is not great. I can like know that I have a bunch of ideas for that thing, that there's a lot of things that I could do, but my brain like just goes, nope, that's too much, and just shuts off. It's not ideal. But there's a lot that I can do with actually being able to record at least just chatting sections and segments. Which means that if I do any more video ideas in the future where I could just do it on stream. So we did like the Samus one. But I had a zombie apocalypse idea, but I think I want to do a little bit more. What's the word? Refining on that. There we go. Holy. Because otherwise it's just too broad. And again, we get into the same issue. All the ideas all the time. Yup. There is such a thing as thinking too quickly. First off, you think of an idea, then it's just gone. You don't even get to remember it, which is not ideal on how ideas work. Which I've done a few times. More than a few times, really. I should probably get better about writing stuff down. But then a lot of the time I start writing it down and then I get distracted by like grammar or something, and then I forget the idea, or at least part of the idea. So, still workshopping ideas in that, I suppose. Whatever. If life was easy, I would be bored, and that wouldn't be good. Say Levy. Well, it just sounds like you have some personal experience with that yourself. Which I guess my condolences. ADHD. It's great at, well, sports, generally. Somewhat gaming. It's not good at a lot of other things that are maybe a little more low-key. Which is, I guess, fine. I spent most of my life playing sports, so I got plenty of benefit out of it. Keeping track of where everyone is, what I'm doing, what they're doing, what they're probably gonna do, where the puck/ball is. Yeah, easy. Ideas for videos? Technically easy. For the first 5 or so seconds. Ugh. Alright, fastest 15 minutes of my life. What do you know? Oy vey. Alright, so trying to slow it down a little bit. There's like this apocalypse idea, specifically zombies, because scenarios are fun. Would it be easier if I could just play Zomboid? Sure, would, but we're back to the too many options thing. Same reason I don't play Minecraft as much as, well, there's infinite things really you can do, and much as no, zero. He's 0 now. 0's 6 technically. Much as 0 likes it, I still don't regret introducing him to it. As much as he has disappeared into it for almost a year now. Oh, how the time flies. But yeah. I mean, we both grew up playing Call of Duty and Battlefield, so I can't really blame that. It's is what it is. 2021. Yeah. Well, tell me about it. Arguably, like, late 2018 to now has been on fast forward. It both does and doesn't seem very long ago, like high school and whatnot, or even like middle school. But it definitely was. Certainly much longer than I want it to be. I mean, VTube only really started getting big in like 2019, specifically because of COVID. So arguably I wouldn't even really be able to do it because getting a model back then was way more expensive. Heck, streaming was still kind of new then, technically. YouTube was a little more mature, but time kind of waits for nobody. Yeah. I'm running over the timeline event. Oh, what was that, 2016? Oh, that was forever ago. That was a decade ago. Might have been sooner. When was that? Yeah, it was 2016. Yep. Well, at least I remember that much. Oh. I was a few years in community college now. Probably. Hmm. Moved down. I think we moved. A little bit after that? No, it was a bit after that, yeah. Like 5 or 6 years. Anyway. Not important. Thank you, 80. No. Signed correctly. Thank you, autism. Didn't really need to follow that tangent all the way through. It was fine. But here we are. Where was I? Ideas. Right. Good. I still have that file somewhere. Squirrel. Oh, don't even. Oh. Squirrel would be better, because at least then I'd have something to focus on and it would like disappear eventually. No, I have to keep myself in check. And I guess technically I don't, but you know. I do still have my ideas document. Have I done any of these? Phantom of the Opera Kitsune Edition. What the hell does that even mean? What did I mean by that? Another weird video intros idea. I had the idea for like logging into the game as an intro to the video, I think. Yeah. That turned out to be a little bit too much editing. I'd need to learn a lot more, and editing is sort of kind of fun, but also the bane of my existence, so that wasn't gonna work out as of yet. I partially blame depression and just not having the energy for it, but then also the ADHD. That, yeah, no, that did get picked up. Whoops. Actually, I don't. It's kind of weird. Like when I knock the desk, it looks like it goes up super high decibel-wise, but then I listen back in the stream and it's not actually that, like, it's audible, don't get me wrong, but it's not actually that loud. Which is weird, but then I guess I'm not that loud either, and it's about the same volume. Whatever. Audio. It's basically witchcraft at most of the time. It's basically witchcraft, yeah. No. Cool. Interesting. A bit of witchcraft. Dreamer's Road, right. That was the beginning of the ASMR idea, which I still need to do some messing around with hair color. That's great. You got the whole backstory. Originally, that... Okay, because customizable model, right? Which is convenient. That's why I chose the one that I did, but it's still pre-made, so we have limited options. You can do hair color, though. I think technically to an extent, skin color? I should try messing with that more if I can, actually. I just realized, because they did VTube Studio upgrades. So you have a little more control over that. Good look into that. But I, in true me fashion, went over the top and I was like, oh yeah, I'll do completely change everything. For what reasons? Don't know. It's not like I had the name that different, so it would have been pretty clear. Not that anyone would figure it out, because by kind of small, I mean very small. But I have the sense to downsize to, yeah, what if I just do a different hair color? Maybe I just won't change anything. Although I kind of like the idea of having slight distinction. Because like this channel's typically more game-centric. Kind of. I say that, but then the grand majority of the streams that I've done since I swapped over to streaming on YouTube have been just chatting. So, not necessarily true. But, yeah. I need to just kind of go with my gut. Otherwise, I keep flip-flopping back and forth. I can like second guess everything multiple times. Very frustrating. Models with toggles and big custom packages are expensive, from what other VTubers have said. If they're custom made, yeah. Yeah. Anything custom, I mean, it's kind of the same with everything. Watch, car, PC, clothes, anything that isn't mass produced, it has more over, what's that word? Is overhead the correct term? It's going to cost more. Simply because supply and demand. Less, they can, if you get a custom model, they can only give it to you. You're paying for the model, so all the work that goes into it, if it were instead a pre-made, then they can sell it to multiple people. They earn more money through a wider audience instead of just the one person. Technically do different paths. Obviously the goal is to get a custom-made model that maybe more accurately represents me, I guess. Specifically in hair options and clothing options. Yeah. It's always that. Doesn't matter. Could be VTubing, could be a game. It's always the hair and the clothing options. It's just never quite right. This is what I get for being different, I suppose. And finicky. Specific. I prefer specific. They're technically both correct, but whatever. Ow. 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 Okay. Back to a better posture. You're so right, Nick. You're so right. But you know, it's an interesting topic, at least to me. But I get the feeling most people don't care as much, which is, again, human nature. Yeah, human nature. You care more about things that directly affect you, especially because there's so much in the modern world that can affect you, than things that don't. Limited bandwidth, if you will. Only so much the brain can actively focus on and keep up with. Well, that's it, Nick. Serious on why ex-content creator Shelly Sender, C-Dog, etc. are successful. Yeah, one of those would be slightly different, methinks. Yeah. Yeah, one of those would go slightly differently if I actually did that idea now. Oh. Random league idea. How to choose your champion based on a favorite mythological supernatural entity? What? What? I mean, kind of? I'm gonna have to stretch that a bit if I did do it, but yeah. Oh. No, I should probably take it to my races. As much as I do enjoy music, admittedly. But you technically can't watch the concerts if you're streaming or making videos for it, so kind of takes away from the experience just a bit. So remove that. Already, I mean, that could be both. Already remembered my idea for short. What would I call that? Because it's not really a deep dive into a topic. If it's for a short, but I mean, you can technically extend it out to like 3 minutes. People don't usually watch that long. But a little bit of editing could be doable. It's got potential. Just take an idea, talk about it. You could also technically take the idea and then expand upon it, and maybe even connect some other ideas to it and turn it into a long form video, I guess. Good work. Be happy. Gotcha. No worry. Good work. Good work. That's probably one that I'll end up doing. By probably, I think I will. Not that I'm going to focus on shorts, because I feel like shorts are usually better for my experience. Like hype moments, if you will. It could just be that I don't watch a lot of shorts. It's at least part of it. But because there has to be a way to make longer ones work without excessive amounts of editing. The question, as per usual, is how. And that is not overtly clear. Could do some more like, as they call it, retention edits, I suppose. Zoom in, zoom out, that sort of thing, because, yeah, that's part of the last couple that I did like that didn't really change anything. And yeah, there's definitely an audience for just straight talking. You just pick an idea and then let rip. But it's usually a little more difficult to pull off for a couple of reasons. First off, pauses happen. You'd have to be a much better speaker, public speaking wise, to be able to make that work as well as you'd need it to. What's the other idea? Reason? Another reason. I can't remember the other reason. Oh. I guess I have more work than enable to fix this one. Oh boy. Right, but also even beyond just being able to keep a contiguous, rather, get fancy with it, stream of thought, you have to make it interesting. Because at the end of the day, you want people to watch it, you have to make it something that they want to watch. That's not just keeping it super fast paced or whatever, it's more than that. There you go, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully it was fun. Yeah. I guess good luck with whatever you're doing. That makes more sense. Then, yeah. You can't see me waving, but I'm doing it because I'm done. Anyway. Where is I? Right. Link. No. Presentation? Presentation. It's... I guess, I mean, that's kind of the idea behind editing. It's really hard to get everything perfect in one take. And a lot of people know what looks good or what they like, but they can't necessarily pinpoint why what they don't like is bad or why they don't like it. I'm a little better with that, but not perfect. Well, it's part of the issue that I have with my editing is I do tend to stop and start more than I'd like. This doesn't give great flow. I could be being overly sensitive to it, but either way, I typically end up editing out the quiet parts. Part of me wonders if I shouldn't do the shorter ones, the like 3-second long bits. We're back to retention editing. But I don't know. Because trying to keep it in mind while recording doesn't really work. I tend to get too anxious and then forget anyway. Or just get into like sort of a flow state and then go from there, I guess? I don't know. Something to think about. Not that it wasn't already something I thought about, but again, too many ideas. We're back to too many ideas. If I had just a few ideas, then I could focus more on making them work. But instead, my brain gets too caught up on doing things perfectly, and then just not liking it when I do it and it doesn't go well. to self-confidence and depression and getting discouraged easily, I guess. C'est la vie. Part of the reason I keep mentioning this is that I keep it in my own head, I guess. Ignoring it wouldn't do me any good. Might as well. You know. Keep reminding myself. Oh, right. I had that weird idea. Maybe. In other news, I don't know if y'all keep up with, well, what games y'all keep up with, but I don't think I really do content with Bodycam, but they have been putting out devlogs of some pretty cool stuff on the game developer side of things, like system mechanics and whatnot. Game mechanics? Game systems? Game systems, we'll call it game systems. That they've been implementing. One of which was revamping their animations, and then the second one more recently was their audio and their, well, not complete redesign, but large overhaul of it. Which, for numerous reasons, I don't know if I can show on stream. It's not the goriest game, but there's every chance YouTube would like flag it as actual footage, combat footage, because their entire thing is realism and making it feel like actual body cam footage. That's the name. They've done a pretty good job so far. I think there's some things that are still a little exaggerated, like the recoil. The audio's probably mostly true to life and volume, but it's a little... Okay, when you're making a game, or a video I guess, but mostly a game, there's a trade-off between, okay, this should be a loud sound or whatever, and I don't want to blow out the audience's eardrums. They need to shade a little bit more towards the not blowing out eardrum side of things than this should just be really loud, because you shouldn't really be giving your players hearing loss. It's not great. I know, it gets into the whole developer vision versus player experience thing. Like, you, as the developer, have an idea. You have a vision of how you want your game to play out and what it's going to look like and how people interact with it, blah, blah, blah. But then players get it and they do things you didn't expect. I view it as, to an extent, you should be like, okay, it's cool, didn't expect that. And I don't know if accommodate's not really the right word, but not devalue how they choose to enjoy it, but also you need to respect your own vision. That usually is more of true in gameplay than it is gameplay. I said that wrong. Have I? So to an extent, gameplay. But also This game mechanics is kind of part of the gameplay. The experience, I guess. Like Deadlock or League, I suppose. If the devs decide to patch the game and balance it in a way that is technically the best, right? Versus like off of statistics or whatever, what most people say they enjoy, or what is technically fair, like from a logical number standpoint, it's usually not going to match player sentiment and how they experience the game while playing it. So it's a balancing act. It's something to keep in mind. Arrowhead, Helldivers 2, is, I think, the latest of the large games, at least, to do that port. I guess technically Arc Raiders came out after. Right? And in Arc Raiders I have a more specific experience because I played it. The Patina is a high tier, it's like tier 3, I forget how they do it exactly, heavy ammo weapon, which is like, gun's basically like a 50 Beowulfs-esque thing. That's like, it's where it's sitting in his niche. So it hits hard, it doesn't shoot super fast, but it does good work, right? Or at least it should. Didn't do that much damage. Doesn't have the best controllability, which you'd kind of expect. But then it also wore out really quickly, because the guns in that game have wear. Which, whatever. Okay, so repair it. Upkeep, whatever. You have a reason to pick up more materials then, right? Good. Except what it costs is the highest tier of the repair components. Because there's parts and whatnot that go into making them when you craft it. So it needs the highest tier of that. Or second highest? Second highest tier. Eventually you can kind of get to a point where you can make them. But there's still a lot of materials that go into making them. So it's just very frustrating because you can't actually make, like, you get the gun or you fabricate the gun. But if you don't know better, you don't have any way to maintain it. You get a single run out of that with that weapon, which sucks. But it's technically balanced. Yeah. So stuff like that. I think the audio in body cam is less egregious, but it's still not great. Yeah. It could do better, and hopefully you can adjust it down enough that you don't go deaf, but you can still hear the important sound cues, like that's, yeah. And I wouldn't say put on a different slider for like footsteps and gunfire, because people will game the hell out of that. Although maybe they should. Let's just put in a gunfire slider, right? Specifically, so that you can like balance it yourself. Yeah, some people will try and optimize it, but like you need to hear the gunfire too. And yeah, there'll be some times where it's like, okay, in a heavy firefight where there's multiple people shooting, You wouldn't really be able to hear footsteps, but if you had that option, you could turn down the gunfire audio. I don't know. Just gonna hope they balance the audio well, I guess. Because it's otherwise really well designed. They have it so that the gunshot audio actually, what's the word? Propagates through rooms or a hallway as it would actually, or a really good simulation of it, I suppose. It's not perfect, I don't think. The indoor gun sounds are maybe still slightly too loud or bassy. Guns don't really sound like Hollywood or video games wants you to think, but still tricky. Hard to say. I guess that's part of where keeping to your vision comes in as a developer. Because you've got to be able to do that, because you need something to guide you. Which, it's I guess a way of saying I should probably come up with a vision for like what I want out of videos. I've kind of gone, well, I've gone back and forth on that. Think. Oh, where was I? I'm back and forth on that. Not ideal. Not ideal in the slightest. Well. Okay. I guess we just move on, because I can remember. But yeah. Some way to lessen the ideas that I have, or rather condense or decrease the amount? Something to sort of sieve them, if you will. Maybe. Plenty of time to think about it, but, like, yeah. So I need to record the current video. I think I came up with the idea of what I want to do with that, which is it's gonna be post because it's already done, but I think I just want to do post anyway. Post commentary seems to just generically fit me better than live commentary. Less awkward spacing, empty spaces and whatnot. So mayhaps that that's where I'm gonna end up. But not perfect. It is definitely not perfect. Things to do, I guess. No, just gotta go with the flow. I'll figure it out. That's what I do. As much as I'd like to do the other more expansive ideas that I have for the future, gotta get there. Can't get there if I don't work towards it. Annoying as it is. Or at least progress is somewhat better, I suppose. I don't know if I'd ever really be able to do live commentary super well. Part of it's shyness, part of it's current situation, I guess. But at the end of the day, it is not that difficult. It's just complicated. Yeah. I can see that. But on the topic which is maybe a slightly more fast-paced, so that my brain stopped falling asleep. Sleep schedule lately, not amazing. The 92-degree heat of 2 days ago did not help. And then anxiety from like not getting things done that I wanted to get done and focusing on that too much. It's an entire event, and I need to stop looking over to see what the current view count is. I don't know if it's worse because like I don't see. What's the word? Concurrent viewers, right? Specifically, I haven't moved so where I don't see that. But I don't know if it's super helpful in general, because it doesn't matter from the performance side of things, if you will. How many people? It's not saying like every view is a view, but just you entertain 5 people, you entertain 10 people, you entertain 10,000 people. All valid. Which, as I said, not doing like whole counts is one thing. Everyone, each is just as valid as the next in terms of counting towards it, I guess. Wasn't what I wanted to say, but that's where our brain is now. So I'd never really be able to agree with that sort of take, but also anxiety. Seeing it doesn't really do me any favors, especially when it's low, and it's arguably never not been low. So when I say low, I mean below hundreds at the very least. But I mean, if you look at streams around YouTube, at least from the people that I see who are successful content creators, it's still usually like 1,600 or like MK in the high end. And then there's Sea Dog, who gets hundreds of thousands of views on his videos, which are edited streams. Not paid, just, you know, he found something that worked and it works for him. Doesn't kind of would work for me, but I just can't. Okay, I'd have to do more structured streams, and I don't love that. Kind of like the freedom aspect. Something to figure out. Another 30 minutes. That is another thing I'm moderately worried about with ASMR. Would I put myself to sleep? Because, like, the whole point's to be relaxing, but I'm just more tired in general right now. Which is not great for keeping a coherent thought going, or thought process, I guess. Make sure to breathe for how long, it'll be fine, but whatever. I don't know what I want to do for the video. I need something that, for also reasons of wrist and elbow, isn't super intensive editing. In terms of asking a lot. Some quick cuts, maybe an effect or two thrown in, and that's the most that I really want to do. But yeah. Tricky topics are tricky. I don't think there's any quick fix, unfortunately. But I needed to find one. Because I thought of like, oh, like General Sam style videos. No. I don't like having to resync everything after the fact. Get too anxious about it and doing it correctly. Armored. What else? Where was I? Yeah, no, nothing. Nada. Ran out of idea. I need a standing desk. That's what I need. Something where I can move around more. I don't really know how to... What's the word? Adapt that to videos. But it would come in handy on stream. They have to just remember to keep moving around for the time being. Which, considering how I tend to focus on whatever I'm thinking about, is easier said than done. Yeah. Probably have the best luck with it, I guess. Speed link, maybe. Anyway. We talked about too many ideas. What to... We're back to the ideas. I will just say, what do I do with that? Keep mixing things up now. Oy vey. Okay. Let's try and get back on track. No deadlock today? Sadly, no. Wrist/elbow is still recovering. Well, that may for the best, because I honestly don't know how well I'd play right now, considering how tired I apparently am. Would have been funny for you guys, but it would have been, well, a little bit frustrating, at least on my end. I tend to, again, hold myself to a high standard, and I know what I'm capable of, so arguably work on taking a little less, I don't know if seriously is that word, but personally? Or being less upset with myself when making mistakes or not performing at peak performance. But I don't know. That'll go on the list, I guess. The list of easier said than done, if nothing else. I did have the idea of looking over a replay and like giving you guys a chance to ask questions and going over what went right, what I did correctly rather, what I should have done, how to avoid making the same mistake. But I don't have the fullest confidence in my PC being able to record and stream and have the game open at the same time, even if it's not technically gameplay, right? Because it's a replay. But I need to test that, and I didn't really think about that beforehand, because like, oh, I'll just stream it, except we went over last time. YouTube only lets you download 720p for the recordings. So, yeah. I don't even count that as high standards wanting it to be in 1080p, even if YouTube also kind of butchers that. Which might partially be too much, too high bitrate. But technically, like, bitrate's weird. It's 1/2 if you have too much, then it'll just bloat things into great quality, and if you have too little, then it just degrades quality because there's not enough info. So I don't know. But yeah, it does take a lot out of you mentally, so playing, at least. I like asking questions. I like puzzling things out, so that's not as much an issue for me as it is Well, as it would be for other people. What in the... At least I think that's a real person. Sorry, distracted by Discord. Can't actually check the name. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. And then there's the actual message. Like, sweet, yeah, okay. Zero finally saw it. Zero is Joker, by the way. Finally saw the message I sent to him. I talked about it. The body cam devlog that they've done 2 of now. Very cool from a technical side of things standpoint. Which, again, I don't know how much it fits with my style content-wise, but it'd definitely be something I'd play off stream and outside of content. Which arguably means I should probably make content for it if I did that, but you can't make content out of everything. Channels have directions, have themes, have niches. Expected style, right? I wonder about that last time too, actually. Well, do rehash? We'll rehash slightly. And I mean, I guess that's kind of true of TV as well. But for content, you tend to go to specific creators for specific things. Which is why variety can be hard to do when you're looking to grow. Technically speaking, you should just pick one thing, do it well, and then you can expand in the future, but ADHD, I don't know that option. That's what it is. You can at least keep to the same general theme, but point is, if you go too far outside of that, then people tend not to watch. Which doesn't say that it's not good, right? You could technically make good stuff in that area, but the people who are already watching the other things you were doing are less likely to transfer over to watching the new stuff if you do something different. Which can be a little frustrating from the creator side of things, but I mean, it just makes sense. It's a quirk of YouTube, if you will. Also, I guess technically Twitch, because it's streaming and content creation in general. But I digress. So the point is, the game's a little loud. By a little loud, I mean it is almost excessively loud. I haven't watched anyone make a video on it recently. And the new update that they're making devlogs for comes out on the 2nd of September. So still wouldn't really know what that's going to be like until then. But it looks interesting. Anyway, since I know Joker 0 would enjoy it, since we've played everything from Call of Duty to Arma. It would be the type of game we'd play. Everything your past matches in Deadlock is smart. Kind of boring sometimes, and also definitely did a video on this, which had some pretty good points. Especially when you're trying to learn your new character. If you just watch your gameplay, you're not always going to know what you did wrong or did right, or if there's just some things where you were just unlucky. I think I can kind of get around that just because, again, I like puzzling things out. I have the type of thought process that allows me to pick things apart into like, okay, why did this work? Why did it not work? If X was different, would it work then? So I'm less worried about that myself, but it is a thing to keep in mind. That said, if you're playing a character that you know you're good at, yeah, VOD review. Kind of tedious and boring. No one likes seeing themselves make mistakes, but it will help you improve as a player. In moderation. It also depends, because some people learn more from doing. That's me. Some people learn more from watching. Some people learn more from hearing someone else talk about it. All valid, just different learning styles. Psychology is interesting. I don't have a degree, which makes it markedly more difficult to talk about outside of maybe slightly above layman's terms, but not by much, if at all. It is still interesting, though. I mean, I like people watching, for instance. It was the thing that I do a lot whenever we went out. You could argue that it's story. Is it storytelling? Not really storytelling. What is the word I'm looking for here? Or phrase, I guess. It's storytelling adjacent. Yeah, because like if you're writing something, whatever, you gotta come up with characters, and then you have to bring those characters to life. They have to have things that they enjoy, things they don't enjoy, backstories, how they talk, yada yada yada. And then how they interact with the world can depend on what's going on and their personalities and whatnot. So it's just interesting. When Judge Your Gameplay, I was top 500 Lash NA player across. I see. I mean, I don't see the problem then, obviously. I mean, everyone tells the truth with the internet, and that's not even saying that people purposely lie, they do. But, you know, sometimes they don't do their due diligence and say things as though they are just empirical fact, and they kind of aren't. Very awkward. I try not to do that. Maybe worry about it too much, arguably. I especially hate the whole, like, in my opinion thing that everyone tends to do. Like, not everything needs to have legal depth to it, right? Not on the stand here. Can just say, oh yeah, like that. Like, instead of, in my opinion, this is the better option. It's like, no, this is better. Sometimes it's just better. For instance, audio and I almost said hell it loose. I'll come back to that in a sec. Body cam. I have fairly sensitive hearing because I'm especially sensitive to that. But it's a very loud game. By design, because gunshots are loud. But, you know. There's just things too much. But also, they're not really wrong for doing it either. But I would kind of like if it's a little quieter and sometimes. You can be too immersed. Okay, you don't need to actually get hearing damage, is my point. Would never lie? Of course not. I would never. I would never. I didn't say that. Those aren't my words. Wasn't applied. No. Since the day you were born. Was that so? Okay. Angel from Heaven Joe. Your great grandmother told you so? Hi, Charles. How's it going? I take it the back's probably feeling better. Whoa, 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 Mrs. Fox. Not last I checked. I don't remember getting married. I'd hope that means that it hasn't happened. It's kind of a big thing to forget. Miss Fox, much better. Still hate bees? Valid. Very valid. Oh. Oh. Right. Joe. How is Vietnam treating you? I guess I could have technically asked it a Discord, but we've been over the whole being shy thing. I don't like bothering people. I'm aware it is also my Discord. That doesn't change anything. Point stands. Yeah, I don't know if it changed much from the open beta. Open beta? It was a closed beta. Playtest? Playtest. But, yeah. Looked better than it did in Drewski's last video, at least. Very buggy, though. That's about what I expected. But at least it's fun. I have a tendency to forget, I guess you could say, that in much the same way that there could technically be bad movies and whatnot that you enjoy, like a game not being technically correct at times in terms of, like, I don't know, graphics or whatever. I mean, maybe not graphics. I'm kind of a stickler for that. That's mostly because if it's blurry, then like I physically, my brain just cannot comprehend it. Rather annoying, but it is what it is. Oh no. Oh no. I was gonna say you can't climb, but I think Drewski did manage to get in to a tree a couple of times, so that's not necessarily true. Yep. The trees can speak Vietnamese. The grass too. Always with the important, hard-hitting questions. The war game. Are there pretty boys? I guess men, really. Although, that'd be accurate in sending boys to war in Vietnam. But it's neither here nor there. I try to avoid political commentary. It's technically history, but you know, whatever. The Lorax spoke Vietnamese? What? Okay. Well, you know, Zara and I used to play a lot of Rising Storm 2 Vietnam. Very similar vibe. Although, hell, this is a little... Is it more or less simulatory? I think it's a little less on the sim side of things. Spoke to the tree because he speaks for the... Oh, we weren't being literal. I see. Oh. Curse you, autism. Curse you. Waiting for the It's really more of a Thai thing, realistically speaking. Oh, well, it's pretty close to... Okay, it's very close to Vietnam. Yeah, I was getting Korea and Vietnam mixed up. I don't actually know why that's a thing, but it is. So... Hey, if they're enjoying themselves, like, I have things that I enjoy other people don't. Not that I really don't. I'm confusing myself. One moment. Not sure how that came to be the thing they were known for. Because it really seems to be more of like a foreign view on Thailand than what the Thai people themselves see. I guess is what I was trying to get at. Even just transmission. Hey, they're welcome to be what they want to be. But yeah, I'm sure that is a question that a lot of people put out. The answer's the same, but join the Vietnamese side? Well, that would depend on if it's from the in-game voice lines, which I doubt, and the people playing on said faction, which is more likely. Civilian Whole Peninsula. They'll have the lady men. Interesting. Fair enough. It is kind of true that there is a larger percentage of the Asian population, at least that you see, that is more feminine in presentation than Western audiences or Western cultures, I guess. Don't know why, but I mean, I benefit from it, so I'm not going to complain. Joker, probably working. And I don't know if he's finally switched over to 0-6. He changed his Discord, finally. I say finally. I wasn't really I thought the name would come first, but I guess he's on Discord more, so like it makes sense to come first before YouTube. Well, he said he's been recording things, which I should do more of. And now I have ideas at least that I can actually do. How could they work? What? Oh. You know, Joker is he, him? Yeah. He's boring. You know, I took all of nothing else. I mean, probably, and likely, furry, trans, Asian and African ancestry, but also German. Whatever the hell, sexuality. Yeah. I think I got that covered. I have like the variety thing for like friendships covered, I guess, if you want to put it that way. So, you know, he can be a little, almost. Yes. I know, a bold combination, truly. Actually kind of makes sense on the whole side of like change and whatnot. If you're trans, you're usually more open to that already, so you're more likely to be, at the very least, less judgmental and more open to that sort of thing anyway. So it makes sense. It's just... Now, I don't know how that explains most of the, like, IT people being furries, but I don't know. Levels to furry? Oh boy. We're not deep into it. Also certain that, like, I wouldn't wear a fursuit. It's not my thing. But I tend to not... How to word this? I guess simplest way. I call Buff's model attractive. The furry version that she has. I tend to just more enjoy female looking than specifically human. Honestly, human's kind of boring. It's like my first thought when I see just baseline, like especially a VTuber model. Just boring. I don't know. The hearing would be nice. Ignore that there's many logistical problems with that in terms of like headphones and whatnot. But somewhere between furry and transhumanist, I guess. I was like, it's furry. Would wanting to be more like that in terms of the furry side of things fall under transhumanist, or would that just be specifically more cyberpunk-esque? I don't really know. IT people are online a bit more than other high-paying jobs. And they seem to get... It's not even the suits, they like bankroll... Hey look, if you ever want to get a good solid income and you have talent in drawing, right? Just go make furry art. I will warn you, a lot of the commissions you'll get will be more explicit in nature. I don't know why. That just... I guess it's true of everything sex sells, right? But whatever, like in ear and tails, I don't know about where. Because like I also generally prefer realism. Like it's... Okay, same reason why I probably wouldn't wear like breast forms or anything if I was inclined to do that. Because I like real and tangible, I guess. Any other expensive because there's a lot of demand, so they can charge more. Economics, baby. But you know, I probably wouldn't wear ears and a tail, like for a costume, sure. But just in general, for my own, just like going around the house or whatever, no. No. Mm. Mm. Well, we're back into the bad posture, so section of the stream. We'll see how long this lasts. Can't wait for Halloween. Oh, Halloween. Never really did anything on Halloween. Like the most I did just when we were younger, me and my sister would get to go out trick-or-treating, but kind of over it. Also at least mildly antisocial, so like, you know, interacting with people coming to the door, not exactly my thing. I know, predictable. I try. I do try. Why do I have my headset on still? I don't know. I guess I was listening to the music for once. But now my ears can breathe. So much better. But yeah, I never really went out to Halloween parties or anything. So... it's a fun time of the year. I like the theme. I like some thrillers. I don't watch horror though. I do not watch horror. Or play horror, for that matter. And also, it's the dressing up. Fair enough. Sometimes having high standards is kind of a pain in the ass, I'm not gonna lie. Which also makes it slightly more weird that I tend to like things more true to life, but then as far as like visual aesthetics, I kind of prefer a more animated take on it than like, what's the word? Hyper realistic? Not the least of which is it usually looks worse in a hyper realistic style. It just does. Brain gives more leeway to animated stuff. To a degree, yes, like anime. Yes, I watched all of Ruby. Yes. Waiting to see what they do with that. No, I'm not going to apologize. Yes, it is not necessarily the greatest for, like, the middle section. I am aware. That said, Monty owns fight scenes. Was it Monty? I don't remember his first name. No, fine. Oh, Yoko Senkai. I have not seen a single episode of that, but I have read fanfiction derived from it. So I know roughly what it's about. I don't know if I'd be able to watch it though, because it has a very specific type of humor that is slightly less cringe-inducing in writing. I don't like awkward situations. It's obvious, I can tell it's done really well though. I can tell they do it really well though, because there's a lot of fan fiction on it. You can usually tell how good a IP, I guess you could say, is based off of how much fan fiction there is of it. For instance, if you were to try and look up Battletech fanfiction, there's not a lot about it. And it's been around for a long time, so it has more than most things that don't have a lot about them would, because it's more niche. But if you were to look up, maybe not these days, but like 5-6 years ago, if you were to look up Twilight, there's plenty. There's a lot. Now it's like, I mean, okay, like Naruto has the most out of just about anything. I mean, you get the general idea. Unfortunately, not a lot of Cancali stuff. Which is a shame, because as much as the anime was a choice, very cool lore. But you know, the main character getting reincarnated because they backtalked being X, God, and then get put into not Germany and not World War II, and never get that backline position. She's just not gonna get it. She's not gonna get it. That's what it is. Suffering from success, the anime, really, arguably. Hate Naruto? Ooh, good thing Zero's not there. Oh, fighting words. But, you know, I can pretty definitively say that I would not watch the anime, but I do read the fanfiction because, again, the universe is really interesting. The execution on characters and other things, maybe there was a choice was made, but yeah. Yeah, they backtalked to not God, went to not Germany, and then fight in not World War II. Is doing the timeline? I can't remember at the top of my head. Something famine, maybe? Less food? Struggling? I don't know. Not super important. I have heard that it is a very good anime though, so if you do enjoy watching anime, worth checking out. So many No, it's in that fandom. What do you mean by that? Thinking about. You added something there. Very different meaning. I don't think we're talking about the same anime then, if that is the case. Like, I'm not gonna judge you. Can't judge you. But you know. I'm just saying. Did you even watch cartoons? I did. I did. That's really all you got as a kid. When I was a kid. And then you kind of had like the Discovery Channel. But yeah, I watched Fairly Odd Parents, SpongeBob. There's I'm blanking. There's other ones, no? Impossible. I give up. I can't remember. I'll remember it when I remember it. Again. Maybe slightly, but that's neither here nor there. Cartoons are awesome. There's still good ones coming out today. I wouldn't know. I don't even keep up with TV. Alright? Never mind cartoons. Dog, really? Hold on. I'm gonna move the fan so that's not blowing into my room. It's gross, dog. Just saying. Very gross. If I mention she eats poop, she eats poop. And she burps. The results are exactly what you'd expect. Yeah. It's great. It's fantastic. Anyway. Yeah, I don't really keep track of traditional medium, I guess you could say. So, I'll take your word for it. More recently, on a free trial of Crunchyroll, I did watch all of the Uma Musume stuff, and then had time to finish off what was out, then a free run, and then also Solo Leveling. So, I've seen some stuff. I just don't usually like the humor of older style animes because it tends to go more around cringe and like haha funny haha humor instead of I guess I tend to like more grounded and serious in general. So that's just kind of true generally. Mid anime, except for Ren. Those are fighting words. Because Solo Leveling was very well written. Alright. And like, I don't know. Not that everyone's taste. Uma Musume was actually really well written too. They did a good job. More than you'd think. But then again, I guess if you open the game and you see the stories they have there, it kind of makes sense. They just not well written. How so? It's basic? Basic isn't necessarily bad. Like, there's being too basic, right? But being basic itself isn't necessarily bad. Just the same kind of mentality I try to keep. Keep it simple. It's actually an anime. Wait, was it an anime before it was a gacha? I think it was. Might not have been. I don't actually remember the timeline for that. But yeah. It has a gacha game, but the anime is actually separate from that. If you have Amazon Prime, it is worth at least checking out Cinderella Grey, because like that is, it got better as time went on, right? Like the first two, I'd say, were solid enough if you enjoy the premise, but definitely less polished than the third season, which I did I think went a little quickly, admittedly, but then especially Cinderella Grey. Very, very good. I'm sure it has flaws, but it's well written. Cyberpunk Edgerunners. I can't remember why. No. I think I do remember why I never watched that. I heard that it was like mostly from David's perspective or whatever, and I tend to avoid, again, predominantly male protagonist focused stories for reasons of need. But the music is good. And from what I know of it, yeah, good writing, good characters. The setting is... I don't think anyone expected the setting to be bad, so I don't think I need to cover that. But yeah, I haven't watched that one. Yeah, I think I defend Uma Musume besides Cinderella Grey less than Solo Leveling, but I still have to defend that. I would. Basic, but it delivered on the premise well. You have to watch it. I technically don't, but was that on Amazon? No, Netflix. Maybe at some point. I need to finally be able to log back into Netflix, which, assuming it's not my account, is a little complicated because they really suck at remembering the password. I think I mentioned that last time, but it's not a current focus, let's put it that way. Future goals, potentially. Ow. Oh. Yeah, it's partially their own fault, and by their own fault, I mean CD Projekt Red. Yeah. Yeah. You know what you did. You know what you did. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even remember who are the main characters in season 2, but I mean, it's kind of hard for him to be the main character. I'm just saying. That, and I'm doing better than I was when that came out, so I could probably watch it and get away with that, but still wouldn't be my go-to. I do like cyberpunk as a genre though, which is partially why I was so disappointed with how they delivered on Cyberpunk 2077. Yup. I mean, you had everything from more censorship than they said there would be to choices not really meaning all that much. I also typically don't like games where you're guaranteed dead at the end. I mean, if it happens because of choices you made, that's one thing, but it's like literally or basically dead is a lot of the endings in Cyberpunk 2077. Wow, was this an anime? Do in fact have to go. We'll ignore that middle part and we'll jump to the end. So long. Yeah. Agree to disagree. Yeah. I will not yield. To quote Cassandre from the hit game League of Legends. They don't really play in this channel. part of that is I need to arguably need a break from that and maybe deadlock, because I get a little more upset, shall we say, at idiot teammates than I would have historically, but that's again just pointing back to mental health and having less patience. But I typically have way more patience than that, which is part of the reason why I don't like streaming it. I can't imagine that that would be the most entertaining. Like complaining about teammates the entire time. I know there's definitely people out there that do that and have an audience, but I don't know if it's the audience that I'd want to pick up anyway. So, yeah, that's so long. Happy to see. That's part of the reason, but that's something I wouldn't complain. Because, like, at a certain point, I also just have some rather bad luck when it comes to teammates. For whatever reason, the one character that I need to not get fed on the opposing team usually gets fed. Which is frustrating, especially in League, because if you know anything, if you play in mid lane, currently in the meta, you don't really have any agency because everyone roams to your lane and butts in. So it's not a 1v1 lane. At best, it's a 2v2, and if your jungler's competent, which mine usually isn't, or my support for that matter, it can turn into a 3v3. Because the jungler shows up, support shows up, and you're both already there. Very frustrating. Not my favorite meta. But I've taken a bit of a break from that. Deadlock is more of I don't really have a character that I enjoy. Blood just came in to take the #1 spot and they like doing that. I still don't know how the whole system works. I really don't. I still don't know why it likes using neon green. For you and Sophia, I think it was? Yeah, something like that. But stream elements is forever going to be an enigma to me, so whatever. Who cares? Maybe you, but so whatever. Very fluorescent though, hard to miss. So there's that. Okay, what the hell is Retro Arc and why do you keep playing it? I'm curious. At every whole 5 minutes. Yeah, I think it currently goes Charlie, baseline, and then 0 at the top 3. Just because when I stream, they happen to be around more. But I don't know, because it seems like it obviously isn't just okay, Steam. I don't know why one of the first things before I type anything into the search bar is Big Titty Goth Baddie. But okay. Not what was I looking for? What was I gonna look up? I got completely sidetracked. No. For whatever reason, it shows how to fish, Big Titty Goth Baddie, War Dogs, which I'd expect, Like that I have looked up, and No More Room in Hell 2. One of those is a horror game. I don't know about the second one, but I mean, it could be innocent. The fact that it's got a black heart and chains next to it kind of makes me think that's not the case. But How to Fish is a meme game, I think. But yeah, War Dogs I want. I want War Dogs really badly. Really, really badly. But I can't get it, because again, no money in my account. And I don't see how that's changing anytime soon. But I don't remember what I was going to look up. That's not to say that all of the searches that I have are innocent. They are not. No. What do I have that called? I have a category called Unholy Things to meme. What is War Dogs? Well, give me a second. I'm curious, is this shit the same thing? It does. So see, no, actually it's not the same. Well, I'm not logged in on the web, so that makes sense that it wouldn't show that, which definitely means it is not a safe for work game. Anyway, let me dip over to here. Right, that's what that's saying. And find this. Do that. Okay. So, what is War Dogs? I forget what Mortar Shell 2 is, but that's not important. I think I showed this last time too. But War Dogs is, in their own words, War Dogs is a tactical, all-out warfare FPS where 100 players split across 3 teams fight over the control zone. Set in the derelict industrial mountains of Eastern Europe on a destructive battlefield where teamwork pays and cash is king. Basically, if you were to describe, I think Tomographic put it as this is more like PlanetSide 2-esque gameplay, where most people were saying it's between Battlefield and Arma. I'd say more Battlefield and Squad, realistically, but it is 3 teams fighting on a large map that is, I forget what it's called, but the vehicles you can fly, drive, you can run around. Less weapons than, it's still, I think, honestly, more weapons than like the average Call of Duty launch. But not as a lot, and I keep saying they want to add more, and vehicles too. But it is a first-person, somewhat squad-based, but not like fully squad-based, tactical but not hardcore shooter that has just gone out in early access, or it's going to come out in early access soon. No, September 10th, I think, is when it comes out into early access. And the main gimmick is that you earn cash for everything. So you have a persistent bank account, if you will, which persists between servers, and everything you do that helps your team earns you money. And you need money to buy vehicles, to buy weapons, to buy supplies if you want to go and do supply drops for your team, which also earns you money. If you transport people in a helicopter that you bought, or maybe borrow from someone else, I'm not actually super clear on that, then you earn money. If you revive somebody, you earn money. If you kill the opponents, you earn money. And it just keeps feeding back into itself like that. I think there's also levels, but You need to buy better backpacks to be able to carry more. You need to buy armor to have better armor. It is a very cool and unique take on it. It does have some problems. Like, I think last time I mentioned, the way they handle artillery is you get like a bullet time style system. So it's very easy to see what effect you're having on the target, which is like the one struggle of artillery, since you're usually so far away, is seeing if you're hitting your target and what effect you're having on it. So it can be very easy to destroy emplacements and whatnot, which is something they could probably look into if they, or they might keep it. I don't know. They shoot a game, so I get hella loose. This game's cool. What like Tarkov? This game like Tarkov? No, this game is definitely less simulatory than Tarkov. It's more grounded than Battlefield in terms of the gunplay and whatnot. But everyone's not marshmallows or anything, especially in the beginning when they're not affording anything, right? In terms of equipment, both protective and offensive. I don't know if there's different bullet types as far as ammunition goes, but I think even ABI would be more realistic, if you want to go with that term, than War Dogs is. So where'd I rate it against Ready or Not? I think Ready or Not is a little more realistic, yeah. You'll get... There's some weapons which would one-shot you in this, but typically speaking, I don't think so. I don't know weapon drop-off and whatnot. I'd assume to an extent it's the usual 9mm and whatnot isn't going to do as well at long range because lower velocity, smaller, well, technically higher velocity is 9mm, but less mass. It is lower velocity than like a 7.62 though. 5.56 is what I was going for actually, but it is definitely more arcadey than the Tarkovs, and I think even Swan. Would I say it's more realistic than Squad? I think in terms of gunplay and health-wise, I think it feels a little better than Squad from what I've seen. I don't know if it's technically more realistic, but it's definitely pretty similar. I feel like a more free-form Squad is maybe a good way to describe it. That's assuming you know what Squad is. It's a game. Which is less realistic than Arma, but more realistic than Battlefield. It's kind of a mix. It's a very unique mix. It's definitely worth a look if you're interested in that type of game. Oh, also it has good destruction, which we haven't had since, like, Bad Company 2? Garda Squad not played it, though? I haven't played it that much, mostly because of easy issues. But it's not a bad game. I think I'd rather play Hell Let Loose than Squad. But that is personal preference. Ah, still in Joker, I see. Welcome, Mary Traveler. Hello, this is way better than I thought so too. It's got a better experience. Squad has some jank to it. Too lazy to change it. You changed your Discord icon, that's the word, and profile picture, but you're too lazy to change your YouTube name, the channel name? Really? You're on YouTube right now. Well, you're on your phone, aren't you? I feel like you shouldn't be on your phone, you should be home. You weren't working, you were destroying your family in magic? Okay, fair enough. It's almost enough to get me to go actually walk to the ATM. Almost. If I knew it would work, then I would, but I don't. So I have other things that I can be doing, although I should exercise more still. I really should. I really should. Just basic stuff. Oh, not a battle royale. Yeah. Okay, let's just go back to the beginning of this. Maybe they're actually going to talk about what the game's about. One sec. How does that sound? Let me open this up. Let me know if it's a bit loud. Should be fine. Oh, that's gonna go into a copyrighted song, kind of, isn't it? So never mind, we're gonna go back to no audio. Yep, that was up. Profit or loss? Yeah, you were to try it, then you said wanted to try. Bought a pre-con deck, didn't know what was in it. Dumb. Oof. Not an extraction shooter. Oh, there's the artillery. All out warfare, yep. Yeah. I'm optimistic. But maybe this one I can actually listen to.
War Dogs is a tactical.
Okay, I think we're probably fine with this.
Where 100 players split across 3 teams fight over one control zone. Every 30 seconds, the team with the most players in the control zone earns 1 point. And the first team to reach 100 points wins the match.
A core aspect of War Dogs is the underlying persistent economy. Every life, you're able to build your own custom loadout, purchasing whatever equipment you want to use before heading into the control zone. During a match, players earn in-game cash for completing any team play actions such as killing enemies, reviving teammates, or even skillfully piloting friendly players into the control zone. Everything a
And he
player
can
does
get
to help
hits.
their team earns cash, with profits from each game banked into their account to spend in the next match. Spending big on better equipment is always a risk, as you might not always make a profit. But the right choice at the right time could turn the tide of the battle and yield massive returns. In War Dogs, we don't just encourage team play, we actually reward it. Teamwork always pays, and cash is king.
We'll get to that.
To maximize your profits and your team's chances of capturing the control zone, you can opt to chase down the hot zone, a moving subzone within the larger control zone that pays out double cash when inside it. Whilst within this hot zone, players also count a double towards their players' team count, meaning you have the potential to swing the outcome of a match and influence explosive firefights with the game's more competitive players.
Roles in War Dogs are entirely player defined, with every item you add to your loadout offering unique ways to earn cash and experience points. XP is earned across 6 progression tracks.
Do that. Oh,
Access to
no, I want to
purchasing
What's over
additional
here?
items for your loadout at the
Alright,
in-match
cool.
vendor. Being a medic, sniper, artillery or ground support, a tank commander or a humble builder. No matter how you want to play, War Dogs gives players the tools to play in their own way and shape a 100% player-driven sandbox.
Squad sizes in War Dogs are unlimited, so no friend ever gets left out when you're trying to decide what games to play in your evenings. Squadding up also provides additional UI, vehicle squad locking for better coordination, and more communication tools, including
back,
squad
back.
voice chat.
On top of the foundry.
There's also proximity chat
46 northeast.
to help you communicate with your teammates around
We
you,
love proximity
or just mess
chat.
with your enemy's heads.
100 players, 3 teams, fighting over one control zone. Create unique and personal loadouts with whatever weapons, gear, and vehicles you want to use. To
no, I
play
think
your
those are pretty
own way.
normal. SV98 coloration.
With no restrictions on squad sizes and no traditional lock roles, you're free to play
Maybe a
however
little
you
brighter
want.
than usual.
Capture the control zone or take the hot zone to earn even more in-game cash and bank it into your account to spend the next time that you play. This is War Dogs. Play your own way. With no restrict, play your own.
Or just mess with your
Where
enemy's
was that?
heads.
100 players, 3 teams, fighting over one
I
control
might have
zone.
also just been the lighting.
Create unique and personal loadouts with whatever weapons, gear,
Of course, it's the first one.
unique and personal loadouts with whatever weapons, gear.
I don't think that is an SV98, but that's it's a little more worn out. Internal clap, whatever. Alright. Down to this. Alright, so. I went past it. Minimum requirements for Hell Let Loose. 2060 Super. NAP 60 FPS. DSR 70%. Or DLSS Ultimate Performance. Ouch. It's always. What do you mean recommended 16 gigabytes of RAM? You are lying. Anyway. CTI. And then War Dogs is 1660. And it's upscaled still, but what's an i5 or a Ryzen 5 3500? I'm gonna check that. i5 10600K or Ryzen 5 3600X, which is above just a 3600. So technically, War Dogs should run better. I know it's something that they were focusing on making sure that it actually performed well, because it definitely looks. I mean, that's not at minimum requirement. That might not even be at recommended requirements. Although maybe 1440p. I mean, heck, theoretically, I could run this game at 1440p. I couldn't because my PC is dying. But theoretically, I have the parts in my PC to run that. Still couldn't create content on it though. Not at that. And maybe at the recommended. But I'd be stuck to like 60 FPS instead of the 140 that I'm used to. Which I would notice. I would notice greatly. But yeah, Hello Loose is not... Like, they improved their performance from the playtest, but... Well... It's some... Someone's upset. Still an odd justification for not putting traps into the game. Kind of the hallmark of the Vietnam War. Conversation. Yeah. So they did some odd things. They did some different things, I guess you could say, with Hello Vietnam's graphics, which is funny because, like, I remember just keep pointing out that the dirt was better in the first Hello Loose. But you know, like this I expect. People are just upset because, like, some people posted that they're upset. And yeah. Are they allowed to not like it in its current state? Yeah, but a lot of these people forget that it's technically in early access. Is it? No, it's not. That's from when it was in early access. So why is it even there? That's the other problem with Steam in early access, is I guess it just doesn't even mark them as like early access or anything. Because those definitely read like they're from early access and stuff like that. How? What a weird number of RAM. 48 gigabytes of RAM. What? It's very weird. Yeah, it's fully out right now. That's what I thought. So like these are from before it was fully released. These are from like playtests or early access. I don't even know if it did early access. Okay, that is the one thing that, like, I personally like audio. This is why I'm still upset at Siege. Audio's not great. It's also what I don't like about CS2. It's trash directional audio. But I don't think it's much worse than the videos that I saw for Vietnam. It's not good, right? It's definitely a mark against it, but it's not, oh my god, this is unplayably bad, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you're trying to shoot people, right? Immersion is nice, it's good, but that's not everything that it's about. It's a tactical shooter. It's a team-based tac shooter-ish-esque thing. Where teamwork, tactics, and arsenal of destructive... Oh, okay, maybe not say arsenal of destructive weapons and then... Well... I don't know how true that is. I doubt they're gonna say how many weapons they put in. But the first Let Loose didn't have that many weapons either, so it would surprise me if there was significantly more in Vietnam. Which makes me curious. Actually, is there a faster way to get to that? How far do I have to scroll to get to the first Hell Let Loose? There's squad, by the way. You've never seen squad look that good, but whatever. Oh, hey, it's in very positive now. That wasn't the case for a long time. What the hell? I don't know about the gunplay there. A little bit weighty. Am I never going to find it? Really? Okay, fine. That's funny. Alright, so yeah, this is mostly positive. Let's not. Anyway. The point is I wouldn't be really worried about Vietnam. Because the original, like, the World War II one, was not exactly beloved either when it first came out. 2021. It's had problems. They walked some stuff back to in terms of, like, they were talking with the damage mechanics and tanks and how that works and whatnot, which wasn't exactly to War Thunder level, but was at least better than how they had it for a while. But now it's just a really fun, really well polished, very beautiful game. And I'm pretty sure I'd be surprised if Vietnam did not get there. Or even surpass it eventually. Oh, hey, 06. Long time no see. Ah. You've been busy in the mines. Tunnels are a B. Vietnamese said, oh. Yeah, that checks out. I was kind of surprised that the tunnel system worked how it did. I think they might have actually had to make it so that you needed to, like, I feel like it would have been better to make it like an area you can just walk through and you have to, like, actually take time to traverse to get through the tunnels. Because teleportation is a little strong, but I get them not wanting to make people literally crawl for, like, even like a couple of minutes to get there. Or even like 30 seconds to get there, because it just doesn't feel very fun. But if you're walking, it doesn't feel as bad, and it's also less claustrophobic. I don't know. I mean, the way that Rising Storm 2 dealt with it was they were just a spawn point, not like a literal tunnel network. And you could only get them so close to the front as well. Which I'm not gonna say is the perfect system, but it was a little bit less broken. But yeah, I'd imagine that a tunnel that you could hide in foliage and makes no noise in and of itself is a little bit better of a delivery system than a large, loud, very explodable chopper. Not great. It's not great. Yeah. It being a fast travel teleportation style system is very exploitable. Especially when you don't have anything for the other side to the point where they have to, like, call in helicopter pilots, which is a person, which has a more limited number of people that can traverse in said helicopter because they have to get flown over, and then the helicopter pilot's going to go back and pick up more people. And that's even if you can get that level of coordination in a game anyway. I keep forgetting I need to actually try and play Hell Let Loose again to see if I can record it. I keep forgetting. Which just means I'm a little afraid that it won't, and that's my intuition telling me that. Because I'm aware that if I did mostly War Thunder, I could probably do a lot better review-wise and content-wise. But I would go insane. So yeah, but hey, look, you did it. See, you changed your name. I'm so proud of you. That's a good job. Everybody, round of applause for Zero. Yep. I'm gonna try hell out this again. Yeah. You kind of went from all the time PC gaming to like only Minecraft. And I don't know how much well, I know you're playing a lot of Minecraft actually. So oh, but I want my MG42. I want her so bad. It's so pretty and it's just so fun. And I need to work on getting into better positions as an MG. I can recognize a good position when I'm in the position, but trying to figure out where the position is before I'm there needs some work. I need a little bit of work on that. Like, I'll be the first to admit it. I don't know what these pictures are. Like, I don't... Like, why are you just like... That's so awkward. Like, this one, kind of. It seems like an action picture. Like, I get it. But then you're just standing there. Like, what? You're just staring at the American soldier there? Really? Like... You've got a scope. You're like inspecting your Walther. You're not even aiming at like anything or like firing it. I mean, I know why they didn't want to fire, right? Because it would bloom in the entire screen. But like, you could do a bit better. Like, even take out like a knife or like your health kit or the melee, whatever. This is better. It feels like you're running, right? If you can't tell, the tank fired, and that's why it looks washed out as hell. Oh, I definitely don't get this graphical fidelity. I don't know. The pictures they used are a little weird, and like, why is this one blurry? Nice and easy is a nice touch though, because of easy Sherman. That's better. This is acceptable. Maybe... Oh, if you look up too much more, the rifle is in the way. Alright. That's kind of cool. Cocky sniper team? Yeah. There are two roads in front of you. One leads to the front, the other to McDonald's. Racist. Why McDonald's? Don't ask. Just don't ask. It's the first thing that came to mind. Okay, don't worry about it. I was gonna say like towards the front, which would have been admittedly too many fronts. Ooh, that's got... Oh. See, now that's pretty. Now that's pretty. Can you rest in me? Choosing to watch and progress. Look, I'm totally gonna... It was supposed to be a joke, but it doesn't feel like a joke. Transition to like podcasts anyway, so then it's mostly an audio experience. But it seems like the easiest, most me form of content to make, honestly. So that probably will happen. Still be streams. But as far as like creating video content, podcast is just kind of makes sense. Like what I do is talking and a lot and explaining things and a lot. So why not cut out the middleman, as it were? Instead of continuing trying to force things that don't work and that I don't have as much fun doing. Mostly because the wrong type of game, but also just getting overwhelmed, ADHD. It is what it is. Can't do it to the level I'd want to, and so therefore I then don't enjoy doing it, and blah blah blah. Oh god, the artillery. I forgot about the artillery. I don't know if that's leaves, which are really low to the ground for some reason, or he's really high above the ground. Or if that's... I think those are just leaves. I was like, is that like debris from an explosion? He's just like the cool guy? I don't know. Oh, he's in a... Okay. He's in a truck. This makes more sense. Anyway, the point was you can listen and work on stuff. I'm just saying. You have multiple monitors. How am I going to be turned into the excuse when you're over here with 3 monitors? I think, right? You have 3? You have at least 2. I know that much. You have at least 2. I have 2. There was a while where I didn't have 2. Did I try streaming? No, I didn't try streaming when I only had 1. Thank God. But video was up and yesterday. You know, if you don't periodically turn your PC on, it's going to shit the bed every time you do, right? It's kind of like how my car is basically not a car anymore as far as functioning, because it just didn't get used. Same thing with PC. I'm just saying. But yeah, okay, sure, that's totally a link. Yeah, no, for sure. Hello, this phenom out now. Woohoo! Woohoo! Oh, that almost right. Check turn off in. Yeah, like once every other week. I'd probably do it like once a week. And maybe give it a little bit of a run, like watch some YouTube videos on it or something. But I'm obviously not a tech expert, so with a grain of salt, okay? Maybe with like a couple pinches of salt. It's mostly accurate though. So yeah. Yeah. You know, I guess other good part of streams is that it kind of makes me move my arm around a bit, but not too much, because I'm sort of forced to not keep it in one spot. Interesting. Okay. I don't know what those two are memeing about in the meme channel. I think it's just better I don't focus on it and don't worry about it. Yep. Doesn't matter. Moving on. Hey, yeah, because I can put my arms up like this now. And how density like reach up and grab the back of the headrest. I say headrest. It's a gaming chair because whatever. At least it's a better chair than an actual kitchen chair. A kitchen table chair that came with the kitchen table that I use as a desk. Anyway. It's getting better. Could probably practice some guitar tomorrow. I should be able to edit the video finally, though I have to record. Voice commentary. I have to record commentary. Which I forgot exactly what I was planning on doing. I think a job I'm already doing. Why do you have to do a resume for the job you're already doing? What? He was alive and well? Like, I see him hop on in the Discord every now and then, but he's been quiet. Contractor, and you're applying to the country. Oh. Oh, man. Oh, that's rough, buddy. That's rough. But yeah. I'd still find it interesting how, like, metrics-wise, the amount of people who seem to like the game streams versus the chatting ones is the opposite of, like, versus who actually talks in chat. Usually wants to see more game stuff. So I don't really know what to take from that, but it is an interesting statistic at the very least. Again, I wouldn't have done that beginning though. That's, thank you, ADHD. That's for like a year and a half. You need to sell yourself to the company that already sees what I'm doing. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. That doesn't. Bureaucracy, I guess. Just blame bureaucracy. That's the go-to. Usually even right. Which my brain attaches to the protagonist of Yuko Senkai? I don't remember the first part. Being all about bureaucracy. And a big fan of it. Yeah. The most interesting statistic was the 3K% watch or whatever. Yeah, that one was that was an interesting outlier of a short. Which I kind of want to get back into doing those. Just because it's easy to, like, take a topic, speak on it for a little bit, and then do, like, some light editing and toss it up as a short. And then it's not much different trying to do that with, like, long-form content, but for whatever reason to my brain, it's slightly less daunting, so whatever. Another year after your hiding, you're going to apply for skilled trades and get back to a normal time schedule. Yeah, that is like the one of the downsides of contracting is you typically don't have the greatest hours because you're a contractor. Or you don't get enough hours because you're a contractor. Kind of either or. Now see, if you're more reliable, like, just totally do the YouTube stuff. Yeah. Which, I mean, you still should on the side if you can. It's a good side income, I guess. You end up making good content. Which I haven't accomplished yet. The extenuating reasons, circumstances, but, you know. I'm aware. It has not been the most effort, I guess. Like I'm self-aware. Mix of motivation, discipline, and just energy to actually do it. It's a work in progress. I'm getting there. "40 hours and the benefits are pretty good." Favorite ladybugs. I feel like it's because of previous topic that sounds weird, but it's technically correct, yeah. You missed an apostrophe, by the way. Oh, make a lot of money, a lot more money. Can't relate really, but happy for you. Oh. But yeah. Yeah, gaming would be good. Ugh. Ow. Maybe I'll even have War Dogs by then, or another game that'll come out. I feel like there's something else I was looking forward to, but I don't remember it. Trauma? Is it trauma? It might be trauma. Oh, it's tasting. Yeah, I kind of figured you would be. Like, I'm not gonna defend Ruby. First and foremost. It has its ups and downs. If you don't like it, then you're not gonna want to watch it. I'm not gonna say it's like the best of its genre or whatever. It did some stuff good, and then the person like who was in charge of the things that were like the biggest good parts of it literally died. And so they had to like start from scratch in the middle, and it was just very awkward. It was very awkward. Like, I will, hands down, seasons 4 through arguably 6, but definitely 4 and 5 were very rough. It was a very rough transitional period. But 7 through 9 isn't bad. 8 was a little rushed, it felt like. But I mean, yeah, they were kind of running out of money. It also had internal issues and stuff, and then they don't even own it anymore. I forget who does own it, but it's not Rooster Teeth. So now we're just waiting on that. Yep. I still don't know if I'd... Because, like, here's the thing. If they can't get all the same voice actors back, or at least the majority of them, I think they would probably be better off rebooting, or at least like soft rebooting, but because like Monty Ohm's choreography for the fight scenes was what sold people on Ruby, right? If I didn't think it would get copyrighted, I'd watch the Red trailer on stream right now, but I mean, you can look it up yourself. It's very, very well done. It's what he was known for. And it was kind of like the basis and the backbone of the first 3 seasons. And then he died. And then they had to have other people do it, and they didn't know how to do his style. They had one person who knew how to do his style, but he couldn't do everything. It was like some weird stuff. And then it's not great. Office politics and a bunch of different stuff, and I'm not gonna bother trying to name it all because I don't remember it all off the top of my head, because who cares? We are past that. The point is, 4 and 5 are rough because, well, it's a 3D anime, so everything gets done in 3D, right? It's not just writing and drawing, rather. Which is the more traditional way of doing it. I prefer 3D, and that's actually something that's part of why I want to get into being able to do it when I actually have a PC that won't make me want to jump off of a cliff, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Through frustration with trying to get it to do things that it's like not capable of doing, because it's like one of my biggest pet peeves. It just I don't can't handle it. But so yeah, the writing was awkward for those two. The plot for those 2 seasons was awkward. And the fight scenes were not very good. They weren't very good. But they got better. And then the writing recovered. It's like it was their first real anime, which is why the first 3 seasons were a bit rough. You could tell that they were planning on writing on the back of Ohm's choreographed fight scenes. They just didn't get to. So it's just really awkward situation all around. When I hate Naruto, and so leveling's not well written. It's yeah, like I can get it. I wouldn't say that Solo Leveling has the most complex of plots. It doesn't. But it's not bad, right? It's actually, it does simple well. And there's the last stream, the saying, kiss, keep it simple, stupid. It does what it set out to do. It I don't know about flawlessly. It was really, really good. Way better than I expected, but it executes extremely well on what it set out to do. And that's all you have to do. A lot of people get caught up in like, well, I would write, but like, my writing's not as good as this. It's like, or like, I can't do that. You don't need to do that. It's like saying in YouTube, oh, I can't make, I must have shows videos like Max or Sea Dog or who else is big? I'm just counting PewDiePie, Mr. Beast, and all that because like I don't even care about that stuff. But like, there's some really good edited gameplay videos and whatnot. Like, okay, I can't do that. I guess I just shouldn't do it. No, just do it in your style that you can do that makes sense for you, which for me is simplicity. And talking about things, but you know, maybe eventually get an editor. That's not even like on the horizon at the moment, to be clear, because I can't pay them. But you know, could cover your number one spot, honestly. Very good. And I still stand by Uma Musume being decent. Mostly Cinderella Grey. Cinderella Grey is objectively good, but the first 3 weren't bad, just awkward at points. They also progress a little quick, so it almost feels like they could have extended each of the first 3 by like another season to tell the story a little more drawn out. But been watching a lot of rom-com. Random, but fair enough. I feel like I specifically avoid those because they tend to have a more cringe-esque style of humor, like a lot of fairly anime. Which is not my style. I can't handle it. I can't. I don't do awkward. So not my thing. But it is, well, I mean, it's just another genre. It's just another genre. It's just another genre, right? So whatever. Also, random aside, if you ever find yourself going to Trader Joe's, you need to try the sour cherry cotton candy, because it is obnoxiously good. I wouldn't recommend eating it all at once for reasons of sour, but it is very, very good, mildly addicting. So yeah. Also, I gotta go pick up the lid for this one, which I can't because I'd forget. Calenti gelato and sorbet, also very good. I think that came from Trader Joe's. I don't actually know, but just look up Talenti. There's an I at the end. It's Italian. Yeah, or they just made the name Italian. Some of them are cringe, some are awkward as hell. That's the same thing. At least for me. Some are just the wholesome, adorable thing. Yeah, boring. Some are a combination of all of them. Fair enough. I just happened to read. Well, okay. I read Worm, if that gives you an idea. I don't like super grimdark. Although I do like 40k, not that I've really read any of its literature. I do like the universe, though. So, I like my down-to-earth stuff, I guess. Oh. Yes, I'm sure my playlist on Spotify would be moderately concerning. I don't know. Not overtly emotional stuff, I guess, but more intended to draw out emotions. You know if that makes sense? Yeah. It's still not my thing, but yeah. I'm not gonna judge someone for watching rom-coms. I don't even like a lot of comedy because of that, to be honest. I don't know. Now, Band of Brothers, though. Band of Brothers. Very good series. Watch it if you haven't. Speaking of obnoxiously good Italian food dessert stuff, we had Olive Garden. No Joker. 0. Sorry. I think I have to judge you on this a little bit. Because I've had Olive Garden before. It was a long time ago. So maybe they improved. But it wasn't exactly the highest of quality. Like, I mean, it's hard to mess up a fried dessert, to be fair. But Olive Garden isn't usually what I would tie to, you know, good food. Solid food, sure, but not like, oh my god, it was fantastic level food. Watch just is all over the place. You know, ADHD. That happens to the people with ADHD. Uh-huh. Waiting. I'm still waiting. Food what you expected? Okay, I can see that. I can see that. Okay. So you know that? Then alright. As long as we're not trying to say that everything else was God tier, I'll allow it. I can allow that they could maybe not mess up a donut covered in chocolate sauce. that's believable for them. But it's just, I could not imagine a world where Olive Garden was like the height of Italian cuisine. My brain was rather stuck on that. Oh. Yeah. No. I should have brought another snack along. I should have, really. Sauce is horrible, the noodles were overcooked, the meatballs were good. Yeah, that sounds like Olive Garden. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate. I don't... Geez, that was the last... Okay. For reference, the last time that I had it, I was still living in California. So that was over 10 years ago. Except it was even before that, because, like, there was also wheat. I couldn't have wheat. It was, like, maybe 3 to 5 years before that. But at least 15 years. But at least 15 years. Maybe didn't your grandma would help you. Fair. I apparently am decent at stir fries? I don't know. I took the home ec and then the advanced cooking class in high school, so like I should be decent. And I am, I just don't usually cook. I did make caprao. I made caprao. Although we didn't have fish sauce, so I had to substitute in soy sauce, which works-ish enough, but it's not the same. We did at least have fresh basil, so there was that. Now you just take that, some meat, bell peppers, onions. Easy. Easy. Thai food tends to be fairly simple, which might be why I like it so much, actually. Like French food. French food is the opposite of simple. It is the epitome of French. Right, at least what you think of when you say French food. So many different steps, and then specific ways of doing things and sauces. In Italian, it's gonna be okay. You make stuff in a sauce, sure. You put ingredients in that aren't just tomatoes, right? But it's pasta. You salt the water, you put in the pasta. You probably didn't make the pasta yourself because it's really involved and difficult and time consuming. But it's not hard to make a good pasta. Even for like store-bought sauce, you can spruce it up a bit and get good quality sauce, right? It's not hard. Oh well. Vienna. So I don't know how they manage to make sauce that is like watery tomato and flavorless. Now I'm curious, what do you do to make a pasta sauce from scratch? I'm aware that's not technically narrowing it down, but you know what I mean. Okay. You know what I mean. What are you talking Alfredo? Which is technically American, I think? Chicken Alfredo? The sauce itself, at least. But you grow tomatoes in your garden? Yeah, we don't have that option. Other herbs and one too. Envious. I can smell it already. But then, like, what is it? Just... I'm guessing you chop the tomatoes I don't know how finely you chop them, but doesn't you chop them and then reduce them down in a pot and then add the herbs? It's obviously going to be a little more complicated than that in terms of, like, you know, maybe there's timings and whatnot, but that's what I imagine would happen. I could be wrong. I'm open to being wrong, but I'm pretty sure that sounds mostly copacetic. Is the correct way to use that? I don't actually know. I was gonna say kosher, but then that just feels weird in that context. What am I at? 27%. Alright, cool. I kind of want to make the podkimao again. The noodles are kind of a pain in the ass though, because we also don't make those. But that was the one dish when we were in Thailand that me, my aunt and her boyfriend took a class learning to make, and oh my god, so fresh. Every ingredient was just in and of itself top quality, including the chilies that we ground up, which I'm not a bitch. I'm a fox, so that wouldn't work in that context anyway, but you know, I put plenty because I like food spicy. I like being able to taste it, to be clear, but I like it spicy. Yeah. And then the fresh basil. And the bell peppers. So good. So good. Brain does this weird thing where I can still, like, taste food that I've had that I remember having. It's not, like, super vivid, but it's pretty... It's fairly good. It's enough to, like, at least remember, like, the taste and the scents and whatnot. I don't know why my brain is so good at remembering those things, but it is. So I'm just, whatever. It is what it is. I will take it. It's not exactly a negative. Except when it comes to, like, having to clean up after the dogs, and it's not great. That's not my favorite. Especially when he decides to drink his ass all over the carpet, because he's a douchebag like that. Yep. Thanks, dog. Cool stuff. What? What does it even look like? Well, that's violent. I really don't have much movement there, do I? Again, I wouldn't really go over the top with it, but you know, it bugs me because it's not realistic. That's like either A, fake, or B, like heavy compression bra level. So yeah, I don't know. You have to blanch and peel the tomatoes first. I forget what blanching. I think it's you toss them into boiling water for like 30 seconds or so, maybe a minute. Depends. Chop up a hand, generally blend it, right? And of course, that's a thing you can do. You can blend things. But wait, what do you mean you don't put it into a mortar and pestle and grind it up that way? Into a paste? What? What are you, lazy? Huh? I'm a little sad that that other one, the previous thought I said, I lost. I forgot that I can actually record snippets of whatever. You had to be there. Maybe I can do it on YouTube. I don't know if I can turn it into a short on YouTube. Then, well, we'll see. You know, the herbs and spices. Yeah, those mostly facetious, because I imagine that's how they would have done it back in the day, or it would have just been chunky. Personally, I don't really like chunky sauce. But this is making me want the pasta that we just recently bought, but I need to finish off the caprao. And I had to make the caprao first because the beef was going to go bad, and also basil doesn't last the longest. So did she get Thai basil? You should use holy Roman basil if you're going to use it for like caprao or whatnot, by the way. That's actually more of what it's meant to have. Because, you know, it got imported and stuff. Chunkies for the salsa the wife makes? Yeah, exactly. Like, salsa makes sense. You're supposed to chew the salsa, right? Like, it's going in a chip. It's adding to the experience. With a sauce, no. It should be smooth. It should be smooth. Okay? It just should be. No. Mm-mm. This is just reality. Is it even possible to, like... Kind of. It's very difficult to do that. Well, bring me a bottle. Hey, what are you gonna do? But it is... yeah. I'm making myself hungry. I don't have as much rice as I'd like, either. I just have to make more. Then I have to heat up more of the caprao in the pan. And the pan's kind of dying, so it likes having stuff stick to the bottom. Concerning looks suppressed, but no, I don't get to replace it, so. Not my pan either, so I could do anything with it. But yeah. Not the greatest of inspirations. Moderately concerning. Mostly just annoying though. No, I don't think there's enough to make fried rice. Maybe. Maybe you could make a batch of caprao fried rice. Caprao. Yeah, there we go. Caprao fried rice. But, yeah. That's for future Fox worries, I suppose. Oh, I need to come up with topics for another podcast. I did finish the thumbnail, so like I have that going for me. It is... where? This one. One sec. I hit the wrong button. Oh boy, okay, I get to do this the hard way. Oh, it's locked, that's why I was like, why can't I use transform on it? Edit, let's drop this down by a lot. Okay. Make it even smaller there. And pull myself over, because I can. There we go. I couldn't help myself with the wordplay, okay? Let's not be brainstorm. No need to crash, it's almost 1. Yeah. But simple. Worked out pretty well. I just need to actually... I thought about putting some like past streams in there, but that's... I feel like there's parts of them which don't translate super well without the video portion, so I'd rather make stuff that's like made with that in mind, right? So, yeah, but good night. Sleep well. I don't know how much longer I'd be going on for anyway, because I'm at 23% battery life. Okay, not very much longer. Got it. Got it. Okay, there we go. I didn't put myself up high enough. I don't really do enough of like changing, doing that, but like I did want to check. What if I do that? What if I do that? Can I then? Nope. I need to find the keybind, but there's technically a way to like change it and then make it go back. Going to knock out. It's a good problem to have, I suppose. I think that works. I need to click off the window before I scroll, otherwise it does awkward things like that. Okay, but yeah, that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Unfortunately, until new PC and setup, and I can actually presumably probably have to like plug the phone into the wall or something to get it to where it doesn't run out of battery, at which point I would just have a like recording / VTube studio phone, but that's a lot of expenses. So not anytime soon. I'm still limited by the battery power, which could be worse. It is worse than it used to be. It used to be pretty reliably like 5 hours. Now we're down to 4-ish. I could probably hit 4 if I pushed, but yeah. I try not to think about how my PC is currently doing too much. I still think about it. ADHD, autism, it happens. I can't not think about it, but I got distracted again. So like, nope. Go to sleep, nerd. You'll do it. I believe in you. You can do it. I can't really help, I guess, unless you like put on a video for background noise or something, which I guess I can then. But otherwise, not really. Still no ASMR channel. That's in the back burner, because I need to get this going first. And the podcast that you see on screen. So look forward to that. Less not having ideas and more I need to actually remember to come up with ideas, just like I need to remember to read tune and then practice more in my guitar. Yeah. So anyway, if you liked, leave a like. It does help the algorithm and serotonin. I get serotonin boost. So double whammy. And if you want to see more, subscribe. Because there's no guarantee you're ever going to see me again otherwise. you'd be like that. Very small, is putting it somewhat mildly. And if you hit the bell icon, theoretically it tells you when I upload videos. That's been somewhat spotty in the past, so I also have the Discord, which is quiet, but it exists somewhere that I post notifications every time I go live or post a video, so. That I eventually post when I put up a video. That one's a little more... I sometimes forget because I have to schedule the video, right? And then I do something and then I look over and I'm like, oh, that's already out. And then I put it, but yeah, I do post it. So I do it. Chug a bottle of NyQuil, that should do it. I can't advocate for that. Use medicine responsibly. But that wouldn't be the first time, probably, is my guess. Not like, you know, the whole bottle, I'd presume, right? Right? That would be bad. But, either way, auf Wiedersehen, and I'll catch you guys next time. And I'll catch you guys next time. Later.